if you're driving through Los Angeles from the Valley to downtown area, to East LA, to South LA in the late 90s, you could see the city dying a slow but a steady death, economically and socially. You saw the scars, the remnants of the civil disturbances from going all the way back to the 60s, and not just the one that occurred in the 90s. And under the leadership of Dick Riordan, who came in as the mayor to rebuild this city and its vibrancy, he knew that we had to come up with another model, another business model, another plan, because the old business plans and models were not working in Los Angeles. They just weren't working.
This idea of the kitchen incubator started a few years ago when we were trying to help people who are cooking at home and create a kitchen where they can legally prepare their foods and teach them how to make it into a small business.
So for instance, if you were a caterer and you wanted to come in and you wanted to begin your business, well, we provide that opportunity for you. That person with limited resources that really has a strong desire to become a very successful business. And I know that that's what Genesis LA is dedicated to doing, and so are we. So it was a perfect match.
We started at the location in Downey many years ago. And since that time, we've had children and parents come back to our facility, those who started in the infants, and recently we had one who graduated from high school. And it was just so rewarding to see the impact that you can make in someone's life. One of the things that attracted me to Genesis was when I read some of their program literature, and their motto was helping people to help each other. That meant a lot to us.
I think in today's economic environment, you have a number of areas that have been overbuilt, and yet you have several areas that are very close to downtown, very close to core job creating areas that are underbuilt, underserviced. They have not seen major commercial development in decades.
We focus on developing communities and facilitating what the community is looking for in our projects. We are never able to sort of close the gap just with city funding, where you have to have financial engineering capacity. And I think we've developed a very good model with Genesis and how we put together the financing. The cities love it because we're bringing in alternative sources of financing that otherwise they don't have. I don't think projects get done any other way in these communities.
Part of our sales pitch, if you will, to the financial world is stop building more projects when there's no demand and come in where there is a demand and no supply.
I'm an immigrant to this country, and Arturo Snyder, who is my partner, and I, who is also an immigrant, we started this company, Primestar Development, in order to create retail opportunities in America's inner cities. Where others saw barriers, we saw opportunity. When children have to walk to school and they have to pass through abandoned buildings that are covered in graffiti, well, eventually that graffiti, that goes inside of themselves and it affects their own self-respect. So what Genesis LA and PrimeStore created here was an opportunity for people not only to shop, but also in a way to feel better about themselves.
We're so happy to have the Alameda Plaza because it's something that used to be completely vacant, very scared to walk by at night or even in the daytime. And my hats are off to them because they came in here and took a chance. Who knew? It's very exciting to have them. We have entertainment, food, businesses, growth.
For a number of years, almost 9 years in fact, we had been searching for a partner or an entity that we could work with that would help us develop an office building. The expertise and the guidance and the support that we received from Genesis Los Angeles was, tantamount to the success of where we are right now in the project.
Capital is fairly easy to define. Capacity is more nebulous. Part of that capacity is simply putting the pieces of the puzzle together. And there are three. First of all, we have to find a tenant. And that tenant has to be a viable economic entity that we can finance. And then we move over and we have to find a piece of property that is suitable for that tenant. Then we have to marry it up with the financing. And that's where Genesis comes in. This is the capital piece of our mission. This is the capacity piece. Putting those three elements together is essential and not as easy as it sounds.
It's not easy to do many of the things that we aspire to do. And we know that Genesis LA was created and established to work with organizations like FAME in the rebuilding of the community, both in terms of spirit as well as literally.
People told me when I first started doing this, it's what you should be doing, we applaud you, but you will never ever be able to make that happen. Well, we have. We've been able to make that happen. And people have made that happen. Not churches, not investment banks, people.
You know, you can look at things in two ways. You can look at them as a crisis, or you can look at them as an opportunity. And sometimes it's difficult to look at them as an opportunity. But we have tried to do that. And that's what we are doing in Genesis LA right now, is we are looking at this economic crisis to see where the opportunities are for us to help people who are now more in need than they were before.